Hello guys. This next video, I'm gonna try to keep it short, but this next video, it's pretty serious. I mean, once we really get into it, and once we really begin to understand what we're dealing with, you will kind of see, and I'm hoping that I can kind of get across to you just how important this subject is. And what I'm talking about right now is the coon, the Negro, the coonette, the house Negro, the Uncle Tom. There's so many different names, and the thing I really want to talk about is really just how dangerous the coonette, house Negro, whatever, just how dangerous they really are. A lot of times we use that, and we will say that, we use that as something comical. Oh, he's a coon, he's a field Negro, whatever. Not a field, I mean house Negro. He's an Uncle Tom. And we say that, and it's funny. We point to people who pretty much are, you know, Uncle Toms, and it's a funny thing, but what we need to realize is that to be very, very honest, the coon is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Because he has the same mindset, the same agenda, and the same uh, intentions of his master. He's willing to do anything, he's willing to say anything, and he is willing to hurt, put on the line, make fail anybody who stands in his way, or who goes against the master, or who um, he feels may work against him or hurt him. And what he has accomplished, or what the position that he or she feels that they are in, they will protect it with their lives. And this is what, I mean, we know where it started. It started on the plantations. It started with those ones that, the master felt that he could trust. The ones who had grown to love the master because more than likely he was good to him, gave him a little extra. And so he snitched and he told on the others, and he sabotaged plans. And his house, or his room or whatever, may have been close to the masses or whatever. He may have been a little bit more privy to some of the master's business, and his ideas and things like that. And he was willing, probably for the sake of his own neck. And I mean, that is what it is, for the sake of his own neck and his own family, that he is going to throw whoever else under the bus, in order to not get beat, treated badly, or kicked out of the position that he had attained. And so, yeah, he throws everybody under the bus. And when we look today, if you envision America as one big plantation, you can then begin to see a little bit more of what I'm talking about, the field Negroes, which is 90% of us, and the house Negro, which is with the other 10, I'm going to say probably 10, 20, 30% at this point, and maybe even more, because so many are in positions now. I mean, you have so many black people now who are so highly educated, who have gone to the best schools, who are in positions of politics, medicine, science, entertainment, and that includes all fields, celebrities, sports entertainment, all of this. You know, you have so many of us now who have so great opportunities, such great opportunities, and who are in positions that our ancestors could probably not even dream of. And yet, I'm not going to say that all of those people are pretty much coons, but I'm going to say a huge percent of them are. And it's because they know their position. They know what they had to do to get to where they are. And they know that they have had to basically sell out to get to that position. And they're basically not going to do anything to lose their position. And this is why I say, this is why the coon is such a dangerous person. He and she is such a dangerous person to the black community. It's not just some funny little thing that, oh, they're a coon, they buck mass for the man. Yeah, that's funny. But when you look at it, they are in high positions and positions of influence, and they have the money to work with their massa and get things done, to work against us. And this is usually what they do. Now, let me give you the biggest example. The biggest example is, we see all the time, we know all the time that there has been this new form of slavery called the penal system, the penitentiary system, prison. And we know they indict black men, especially harsh, with extra long sentences. I mean, usually a black man will, when he gets in trouble, he pretty much, he may not even be seeing the light of day anymore. They're going to throw him away, and this is once again all for a reason. And it's just to, keep that slavery thing going. And it's also to keep him out of the communities, keep him out of the children's lives, is to keep him from doing anything, from being anything, from making himself anything. I mean, it's a lot behind the reasoning why they do that. It's also just the fact that they hate you. So they go throw you away. They have the power and the authority to do it, and so they do it. I mean, some of these sentences are absolutely ridiculous. People got triple and double life sentences behind stuff that a lot of white people don't even go to jail for. So we know the system is crooked. We know that the system is very, very against black people, black men especially. But I brought that up to say that we have very educated lawyers, highly educated lawyers, highly influential lawyers, politicians, and people who work in that system that could help black people, that could work for black people, that could do something for black people. You have these organizations that white people have created, like the NAACP and all this, that's supposed to work for black people. That's a bunch of bull. They don't do anything for black people that's going to make a big influence on black people. This is something that was set up by them. So, I mean, is it really going to work for black people? I mean, what really has this organization done for black people as a whole? And this is what we have to look at. But every time I see these cases and I see these black men who they say, this man, been in prison 35, 40 years, they're letting him out. He's an old man, can't do nothing. He can't make no children. He can't get no job. His life is over. So yeah, let him out. And this is what they do all the time. They rarely let out young, healthy, 20, 30-year-old people. It's always some wrong conviction, but they kept them in there for half of their life. Their life pretty much is over, for them to do anything. And I really think that is done on purpose. I think they know a lot of these people are already innocent when they go in there, but they just don't care because they have to keep it going, And so anyway, the bottom line is that we have lawyers, we have politicians and people that could do more to help black people not to get in that situation and to get out of those situations. But because they are Uncle Toms and Coons, they would rather work for the bad of their people, or work in a negative way toward their people, as not to piss massa off and as not to lose where they are. You know, they don't want to lose their jobs or their influence or whatever by helping black men get out of prison. Do you really think that, you know, we don't have enough highly educated lawyers that they could not help in some of these cases? We do. We do. Uh, we have so many black millionaires and multimillionaires that could be doing things and fixing things and influencing things in our communities, building positive recreation centers, and even if they put their name on it, I don't care, you know. But still, they could be doing some positive things in the black community because of all the money that they have, but they don't, because we are expendable to them. You know, they would rather throw us under the bus, and their position with the massa and their position and their money and everything with being buddy buddy with the massa is more important to them than us. And they have convinced themselves, just as the massa has, that we're no good, that we're criminals, that we're lazy, that we're good for nothing. And so, yeah, it becomes easier for them because they've convinced themselves. You know, they think just like their massa, and that's why I keep trying to get across to you that the coon is so very dangerous. And not only does he have his massa's mind, he has his massa's intent. And like I say, just like the massa, to stay in his position, he will do anything. Anything. He is a very, very dangerous individual. Um, and it's not just something, you know, that we joke about. And, you know, I mean, most coons are in influential positions and have enough money to throw us under the bus. And this is what they do so many times, you know. You know, like I said, I was saying in another video, I was talking about the Christian pastors, Christian preachers, and everything. Just about all of them are coons. You might as well just, you know, all of them are coons, because they're working for the system. They're doing exactly the mind control. I mean, they are very, like I'm telling you, you need to see just how dangerous they are. They are very dangerous and detrimental. Their job is to keep black people under a mind control and under a keeping us nonviolent. Because, as I say, every time there is a riot, a protest, or whatever, they start calling in the Christian pastors. And that's to remind you to love, and that's to remind you to, you know, just keep your cool and just pray and just love God. And, you know, that's just not the Christian way, and you don't hurt and you don't tear up things and you don't do this. And, but, you know, and when I was saying in my last video about them having such influence on the single mother in the community, here is how that's done. Because they know that the single Christian mom, aunt, grandma, whoever, has influence on her children, the community, others in the neighborhood. You know, she's a good Christian woman. Most people in the family and in the community will look up to her. They'll listen to her. And so they use that. They know if these kids or people are out here protesting and rioting, they know that they can go and call the mama, the auntie, the whatever, and talk to them and tell them, now look, y'all know that so-and-so, so-and-so, and more than likely, just out of love and respect, they're going to stop. Not even because she's right, or not even because we should not be protesting and uprising, but because of respect for her and the love for her. She has the power of that voice. And like I say, the Christian church, the Christian pastors know that. And this is why, once again, So many times, even without her knowing it, the black woman is used as a tool in the community for the with the help of the Christian church and the Christian pastor. Most times, like I'm saying, really without her even knowing it, she's just sold out and loved Jesus, and just, she believes that you don't have an enemy. She believes that you need to love and be kind, and if you just love these people enough, they're going to change one day, and Jesus is going to destroy the wicked, and you know one day we're all going to just be happy and live in heaven and have this wonderful life because you were good. And we know it doesn't work like that, but she's so mind controlled that she believes that. And we have that in us so much that, because we were raised with it, so we connect with that, and we love the person who's telling us all this. So anyway, it becomes a weapon and a tool. And this is what they have been doing, and this is why the influence of Christianity has to fall and break, and we have to go another way. We have to, for our sake. But as I say, getting back to the Coon, to those very, very dangerous people who have the influence to keep us suppressed. You know what it is? It's just so much, it's so important to them to keep the position that they have, that, as I say, they will throw everybody else under the bus. Now, look at the civil rights movement. I'm not gonna go on too long with this video, but look at the civil rights movement. The main influence of the civil rights movement was Christians, and Martin Luther King, and the pastors, and all of these other religious leaders who helped to influence the civil rights movement. They were not necessarily the voice for all black people. They were not the voice for those of us who really, or those of them, because I wasn't born back then, those of them who wanted to get out of this and to segregate. They use that, oh, we all brothers and we all gonna love, and we just all just one big happy wonderful family, and we're gonna take the Christian route, and then so they used all that rhetoric. They used all that rhetoric, and they got what they wanted. And if you notice, a lot of times here in America, let me show you the trick of it. Most times here in America, when something big has to be pushed through or made a law, or some type of agenda has to take place, they don't consult the people. They go get their group that they're going to use, and they say that this is the voice of the people and this is what the people want. And that's what they did in civil rights. Because I'm going to tell you, when you go and look at Marcus Garvey, and look at all of the people who were following Marcus Garvey and Back to Africa, and that whole movement of getting back to taking the black man back to Africa, there were thousands. So it wasn't all of us all of them at that time who just wanted, to be here and segregate and love the white man, and, we're going to make this thing happen. No, that was a small group of people who, yeah, they did help rally a lot of people behind them. But I kind of think the movement with Marcus Garvey, the way it was sabotaged so horribly. I mean, they did everything to sabotage this man. I don't know if you have looked into his work, read his books and everything, because I am Rastafari, I've researched him, and because he is a big influence in the Rastafari path, and so I have, that's why I know. So if you have not looked into Marcus Garvey and what he was trying to do, and how he was basically trying to help and save and redeem black people here in America, you need to, because I really truly believe that his way and his path would have been a whole lot better for us than the way that they took with Martin Luther King, and all these lies and promises that was given to us, and nothing has been fulfilled. Nothing. Following that way and going that route. Integration hasn't helped us. Integration has not saved us. Integration is not, because all white people did was to move further out. There was no. I went to school with two white people in my whole elementary. Just from because back when I was in school, we went to elementary all the way through sixth grade, and so from kindergarten to sixth grade, I went to school with two white people. So where's the integration in that? And this was 70s. So where's the integration in that? What they did was they gave white people a way to move further out and create zoning laws and create, all kinds of laws and housing regulations and things like that to protect them and to keep us out. It's just been a trick. It was one big trick, you know. Look like my battery's going down. I don't have my computer hooked up to the battery. But yeah, we need to look into this and really see just how detrimental and how influential the Coon really is. It's not just some joking thing. It's not really just some joking thing. I mean, the Coon is who they call to speak for us, to stand up for us, and to be their voice. So many times they use the Coon to get their dirty work across and trick us. And so because they really think that, because they know that we're going to listen to a black face. I mean, we're more comfortable listening to a black face. So they go and get and appoint all these Coons to do their dirty work. But even that is losing its influence, because we're seeing, and people are waking up. I love to say that because I see it. And that's not going to work too much longer either. We see the Coon, we know the Coon, we have identified them, and we know who they are. They are going the same way as their oppressors, as their master. They're going the same way. And I would tell you, don't feel any pity. Because if they could destroy us and throw us under the bus, as they have been continually doing, don't feel any sorrow or mercy for them, because they will do it again. Their intention is not for you. Their intention is for their master and what they have and what they have built and their position. They are very selfish and greedy and detrimental people to us. So, once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you all so much just for your support. And until the next video, see you next time.